Hello and welcome back. It's time for a little more Hellblade. Last time we had a pretty good intro to the game, pretty good first impressions. I want to talk a little bit about some of my thoughts so far before we get back into it. I mentioned a little bit about how I don't really like when movies do the "it was all a dream" sort of thing. I don't think they're going to do "it was all a dream" with this, but it made me think, what's actually happening here? Are we experiencing this game through the eyes of like what it would be like to be a person in this time period? Right? So they don't know about, lots of technology. They explain a lot of things through supernatural means or mysticism or traditions or whatever. So is this sort of like reality, but with the layer of the unknown layered on top of it and then enhanced a little bit to make it look like we're fighting, demons or zombies or whatever? If you were to strip that away, are we actually just like fighting guys with a skull on their head, right? As some sort of dead animal skull on its head? Is the manifestation of the darkness in her body her own like perception of herself and mental well-being? I don't know if they're gonna be that nuanced. I hope they are, honestly, and not because I want it to be, like pretentious or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just more interesting that way, I think, because it can be interpreted in multiple ways. But we'll see. I've only played half an hour of this game, so maybe they just get rid of all that and it just becomes real obvious. No, you're actually going straight to hell and you're fighting demons, and that's it, and trippy stuff happens. I don't know. But it's interesting to think about. So at the very least, I like this game for making me think about that stuff. So anyway, let's get back into it. So if you remember last time, we chose to open the door to Valhalen, the illusion god that controls ravens. So let's head through the door. Some snow-covered peaks in the distance. The environments are pretty small so far. They look nice enough. It's nothing amazing. It actually kind of reminds me of Oblivion, Elder Scrolls game. The plant textures and stuff.
Ymir was a frost giant, a being of darkness, and all his sons and grandsons were dark after him. Of his daughters and granddaughters, some were monstrous, but others fair. But there was another who came from the ice, Buri. In shape, he was like a man, big and powerful. His son, Bor, took a fair giant to be his wife, and they had 3 sons. Odin was the eldest, and the Northmen hold him to be the foremost of the gods, the All-Father.
That's weird. Oh, I bet this is a transition area. Little corridor in which to load the next area. It kind of froze for half a sec, that's why I was kind of squinting my eyes. Oh.
Illusion hides the path to Valhalen. Don't trust your eyes. Find another way to see the truth.
Don't trust my eyes. I gotta say, the whispering voices thing, I can see where we get annoying, but they have it at a low enough volume and coming from enough like spatially different places. It's really nice with headphones, honestly. That it's like a more of a nice subtle effect rather than overbearing. So far at least, it's pretty cool. If it keeps up forever, maybe it would get annoying, but they could use that intentionally as a, like, I don't know, to get into her mental state. If you have to constantly be hearing these voices, of course it's going to get annoying and wear on you. Interesting.
Look, something's different. Things change different. Can you see?
It's funny. We all want to see behind the veil, don't we? Once we do, we mostly just close our eyes again and pretend what we saw was never really there.
I keep wanting to grab those torches.
If anyone ever could close her eyes, however hard she tried, begged.
You're right to think, Tracy.
This is the price she pays for seeing things differently. Because once you gaze into the relentless darkness, all that lurks within it can see you too.
You're right to think, Tracy.
I know that quote, or at least the idea behind that phrasing. Nietzsche, I think. So we have a lot of bodies here. Looks like mostly robes.
You're right to think, Tracy.
I'll definitely burn this guy. Jesus. It's a horse skull, maybe? So they're burning people. They send him straight to the gates of hell? They mentioned that earlier. Burn the body is the fastest way. These guys again. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, okay.
She's so weak, they can see her.
I see. You can only dodge to the side.
He's down, finish it. He can read. He's gone. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm getting a little better feel for the combat.
The Northmen will not stop her. She will find what she's looking for.
How'd they get... Oh, I thought that was another body all the way up there. Okay. Alright, so here's what I've figured out from combat so far. Left click is light attack, right click is heavy attack. Left click is good for general damage interrupting their attacks. Right click is good for probably more damage, but mainly for breaking their guard. You can dodge to the sides, but not forward. And it seems like it's very generous with the dodging. There's also some way to do finishing moves, though she keeps missing every single time I try and do it. I don't know. Not really important, but I'm not sure how life works either. I saw the screen start to get a little red, and then it went away. I don't know if it heals on kill, or it heals after time, or what. It seems like dodging is pretty strong.
Valravan's power of illusion comes from ravens. Align the ravens to break his magic seal.
Show me what you have seen, Truth. Look how much it's changed. It's all different.
What? Is it different? I kind of cheated at this last time. I want to actually figure it out this time. So we're looking for something in the environment potentially that matches this rune.
To break the seal, align the ravens with the mark of Valravan.
Okay, I see. I bet these glowy things, when I stand up here in the right area, it'll... But, yeah. Alright, I actually found it that time. It's so obvious though, I don't know.
Can you feel it?
It's a good idea, but hopefully it gets a little more challenging than that.
Do you feel it too?
Oh, that's cool.
It's like crossing into another world that looks the same but feels different. An imposter world where the forest itself is watching.
Let me check something real quick here. I was gonna see if there's a setting for the different channels. If I could turn on, like, 5.1 or whatever. Guess not. This perspective and control scheme, well, maybe not the control scheme, the perspective at least. I know it's third person over the shoulder.
Another gate. Another gate.
It feels a little bit like Resident Evil, specifically 4.
It's not safe. Don't listen to them. Listen. Don't. Open. You can do it. Don't touch it. Step back. Come on.
I can see that I will need to look through this sigil thing again. Yeah.
To break the seal, align the ravens with the mark of Valravan.
What does it mean? ravens. Where are they? Can't you see them, Shamus? Look around. Trying to find. Line up the ravens. Shh, 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 shh. What is it?
I hear something.
If you hear the soul of Valhalen, follow it, and it will lead you to him. But be aware of his illusions. You can't always trust your eyes.
Valhalen, challenge me.
Focus. You need to focus. Focus.
It's pretty creepy and cool.
He's gone. He disappeared. Where did he go? Where is he? From your fault.
I didn't lose him. Oh, that was slick. I don't know if that's just coincidence or what, but
Is she lost?
he changed just as I passed through that tree. That was amazing.
Last winter, before the tragedy, she journeyed into the wilds of her native land, living off berries, roots, and rabbits. It's not uncommon, you see. We call such a person a Gelt. Some, like Truth, become Gelt in search of penance. Others, like Senua, to purge a curse. Those who make it back are forever changed.
I see. If I pass through those arches with the skull, it changes some part of the environment. Shortcut unlocked? The sound is just so good.
There he is.
I see. Okay, it was on purpose. Good job, guys.
She can get up now. What's happening? She can get up now. She can get out. It must be magic. Dark magic. A trick. Valravan tricking her. Valravan. How can she get out? Bait. It's him. Dark magic draws her closer. Valravan's magic. It's not him. He's helping her. It's not him. It's a trick. She's doing it on her own. He's not tricking her. It's magic. It's an illusion.
This is nice too because, you know, the developers have obviously picked these voices or picked the lines to say things that people would be thinking at this point. It makes me kind of feel like I'm part of the the choir of voices in her head, you know? I'm sure that was intentional, but it's very cool. I should say, and it's very cool. I hope this is the right way. Okay. This is the first or second door I opened. First door, I think. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's mostly corridors, but somehow I still find a way to get lost. There we go. Ruth. I like that guy. I wanna hear some more from Ruth. Alright, into the Ravens.
We picture fear, and we think of a shadow in the woods, a creature in the night. If only it were that simple. The worst kind comes without warning. Deep and primal signal from within. A reminder that just because you cannot see the threat, it doesn't mean that it's not already here.
Find another route. Truth says there's always another route. Find a way. Go round. Find your own path. There's a different way.
That's an interesting effect. Oh god.
You're close.
There we go.
You won.
Yeah. It's got iframes. Dodge spam is gonna be OP. Let's see. Ooh. I guess it has to be OP.
Finished. Surprise him. Take him down. Take him down. Defend yourself.
Okay. Yeah, dodge spam OP. But hey, you get to fight more than one enemy at once. At least it's upping the challenge slightly.
The Northmen say that Odin and his brothers killed Ymir, and that the world of men was formed from his corpse. They made his bones into stone, and his flesh into earth, and his blood into the salt sea. They set his skull to be the bowl of the sky, with his brains for clouds. Odin and his brothers caught the sparks flying from Muspel and made them into stars. And to protect the new world from the giants, they used Ymir's great curving eyebrows as walls.
Do you know what it's like to leave everything behind? Your home, loved ones, to head deep into the wilds, perhaps never to return. Senua does. Because when darkness speaks, it changes everything. Turning home into a foreign land and loved ones into strangers. Exile makes sense when you realize that you were never really home in the first place.
So she went into exile voluntarily because she thought she was going to cure a curse she has on her. But she only just now got the darkness, like, since I've started playing this game. So it's not the darkness. Unless she had some small part of it. So she's got another curse other than the darkness somewhere on her. Or in her. This area's opened up a little bit. Some sort of grand puzzle, maybe? Two gateways.
The song. Valraven. Valraven's song. It's over here. It's over here. Is that? It's over there. No, it's here. There's two. Which one? Listen. Listen, focus, listen. It's magic, it's magic.
I'm trying! Shut up so I can hear.
This reminds her of somewhere. The forest. Where? Which forest?
The forest in the wilds.
The wilds.
She left Dillian.
She went to the wilds a long time ago.
Why did she go to the wilds?
She wanted to fight her own darkness. She thought she could beat her own darkness.
Did she beat her darkness?
No. It nearly killed her, but she tried.
Druth. Druth helped her.
If it wasn't for Druth, she'd be
She'd be
dead.
dead.
She can't beat her own darkness. She wanted to marry Dillian.
She came to beat her own darkness and marry Dillian. But it didn't work.
She thought her curse would affect him.
She thought her curse would spread to him.
She thought she'd bring the darkness to him too.
She nearly died.
She thought the curse made her tainted.
Druth helped her.
I'm not convinced this one is the right one.
Open it. Not from this side.
I went through that already. I don't know if they're gonna do it, but it's a fine like hint system too. Like if you start taking too long, will they start saying more obvious like clues for what you should do? I hope I don't run into that, but it'd be a good use of the voices. Okay, we got a bridge there. All the way up there. Oh, there's illusion door things here. Interesting. Not lost, I just like to wander. What's the point of that? Oh. I don't really know what triggers these things. I definitely walked under that before I came here. There was a gate I could kick down. Oh? It thinks I'm in a place to line these symbols up, I think. That's not it, though. There it is. Well, Robin, challenge me! That's what I thought.
The ravens.
The ravens.
They've gone.
They've gone.
No.
Half of them have gone.
They've gone. Some are still there.
But where? Some are still there.
No, Raven's helping.
No. He's not helping.
It's a trick. Quiet. They're everything.
Out in the wilds, in the cold winter woods,
Where have they gone?
she no longer felt fit for this world. She almost gave in to the darkness. But she remembered Dillian's words. She remembered her promise. She resolved to fight on and kill that which had become a part of her.
The most difficult battles are fought in the mind, he told her. So, if Dillian was advising her, and Druth was advising her about this stuff, obviously her curse happens before Dillian dies. I'm gonna assume she went crazy because Dillian died. So her being crazy is not a curse. Can I go in here now? Nope. Excuse me. Looking. Oh, I understand now. Jeez. Okay. So if you go through it... Jesus. Oh, this took me so long to figure out. Okay, so, looking at it normally, it looks like the wall is open. However, looking at it through this thing, you can see the wall is closed. If I go through it like this, it's going to be closed. I see. Alright, so I need to go through it like this, and now it's open. Alright, we're getting it, we're getting it! Here I am being all cocky, thinking, oh, I sure hope it gets hard. I can't even figure out this simple stuff. We'll just open this up, in case I'm dumb again. A secret Druth room? Give me some lore, Druth.
The Northmen say you must sacrifice in order to receive. They tell how the runes were revealed to Odin only in sacrifice. He hung himself from the world tree, and he stabbed himself with a spear, and he dedicated the sacrifice to himself. For 9 nights he hung on the tree without food or drink, and at last he saw the runes below him. He gave a cry and gathered them in his mind and learnt them. Then he fell from the tree.
I know where I'm not going. That way. Okay, so is this going to be a backtracking thing? Now that I have that door open, maybe when I look through the illusion thing, it will reveal a cross beam or something to get across. Let's try it. Yeah, okay, so when the wall's there, you can walk across the wall. Got it. I wish this controlled more like, I don't know, Uncharted, or, if I dare say, Assassin's Creed. The limited movement is kind of annoying. Aha!
The ravens. They've all gone. No. There's still 3. There's 3. Where have they gone? She did it.
Looking back, I was so naive to think she could banish it on her own. The further she saw into the darkness, the more she struggled to see anything at all. And in the gloom, the smallest hints of shape, sound, thought grow in strength until they consumed her whole. Before she knew it, the darkness had her in its claws.
Is it like a literal darkness, maybe? Is she blind? That way. Wait, what's going on here? I'm just trying to get to a place where I can line up these raven things. I see them.
Broken. The gate is open. Open. She didn't.
There is no such thing as victory when it comes to the darkness. It's like it doesn't want to kill her. Yet, you'll gnaw at her, biding its time. Only when she is at her weakest will it strike to kill. Will she find Dillion before her time comes?
That was neat. Saw a lightning strike. Fall Raven to fight me!
Overcome Valravan's final illusion to face him in his keep. I know you can do it, Senua. You have the sight.
We both see the darkness. We can fight it together.
Oh man, I can see there's a gate up there. There's nothing here right now. So I'm gonna ladder up to the gate. Probably look through to be able to climb up to where I just dead-ended at. Yep. Anything tricky if I go back this way, though? Okay.
Speak to me, Druth. Tell me a story.
Senua, listen. I will tell you the tale of a man called Findan.
Tell me.
The Northmen captured Findan's sister, and his father sent him to pay for her release. But they took his gold, put him in chains, and held him for a day and a night without food or water. Then they released him. I don't know why. Upon his return, his father's enemies in Erin set fire to his home. His father burnt to death, and his brother was killed. But he escaped with sorrow in his heart. His father's enemies offered redress for his loss and invited him to a feast. It was at a hall near the sea. But when he went there, they betrayed him to the Northmen, who enslaved him and took him to hell. 6 years later, his slave masters landed on the shores of Orkney, burning all before them. And into that fire, Findan made his escape. What was Findan burnt away that day. But from the flames, a new man stepped forward, and Druth was born.
Oh.
Druth. The man that I am now. And though Findan never set eyes on his dear sister again, I, Druth, have found you, Senua.
I wish you could have seen my home before these dark times.
Oh, look, wait. I gotta reset this. the Raven's Nest. Oh, come on up there.
Broke. The gate is open. Open.
This darkness. I know it from the wilds. It's coming back for me.
I'm still here. Are you too? Where are we? I remember. It didn't end well in the wilds. It never does. You think you can overcome the darkness, make sense of it, and once relief settles in, it strikes out of nowhere, throwing you helplessly back into the maelstrom, drowning the mind in fear, deeper, deeper, dragging you down so far into the void that maybe this time there is no coming back.
A raven's eating her legs.
But there, in the darkness,
Senua,
she remembered what he told her.
hear me. Reach out to me. Senua, take my iron mirror. Look into it, for it is a window into the underworld. Within, you will see the face of the darkness that you fear. And if you focus, like I have taught you to, you will also see that as much as the darkness has you trapped within its veil, it too is trapped within yours. Focus. Focus! Focus!
I see you. I see you now. You led me to the wilds. You trapped me there.
You as in herself? Oh, okay.
Don't give up. Don't give up.
Quickly get up.
Get up! Oh no. I don't think I was supposed to die that time. No.
Where's he going?
All the pain.
The better fight.
I like that.
It's nearly over. Finish it. Don't let them get behind you.
Oh god. Not this time. Yeah. This is actually pretty damn awesome. I gotta wait on that one. After the roar, it's a double hit. Oh, come on. Oh! Okay, okay. I think he dodged too. Ah, damn it. Okay. Come on, get up!
Get up, quick! She's injured.
Okay,
She's not gonna make it.
you can get up.
Stop them!
You can get up, but just not infinite amount of times. God damn it. One hit, two hit. God damn it, I get hit by the second hit this time. Okay. Oh, what? That hit me? Damn, I got downed already? Jesus.
She's hurt. She won't make it.
Well, I'll make it. Oh, I see. When you're injured, you kind of limp. Alright, I see. It's so annoying that you can't dodge forwards. Alright. Not this time, buddy. Two. Okay. Alright. Oh, I was ready for it that time. Oh, no. Not this time, Valhalen. What do we got? What do we got? No! One. And the two. Oh. Stuck. Heavy attack after that one. Toss? Nope. Forward dodge, man. Yes! Kick his ass!
Don't let them surround you. Behind you!
Oh, that was actually useful. Ooh, we got 3 this time. Ah. Come on. Come on. One more. There we go. Okay, what do we get? The cleave! Uh-oh! No.
Focus! Focus now!
Oh, it's literally. Okay, got it. I never even thought to use the focus this whole time.
He can breathe.
Yeah. It's a double. Yeah, okay.
I never beat you in the wilds, did I? It was an illusion. But not this time!
The mark of Valhalen, one of the keys to the gate to Helheim. Hold it in your mind's eye.
With every battle, the darkness grows
Jeez,
stronger.
that was good.
Every victory bringing her closer to defeat. Unfair, isn't it? In those dark winter nights in the wilds, there were times when she considered letting go. If it weren't for Druth, a chance encounter in the wilds, she would not have heard his stories of the Northmen. And she would not have this chance to find Dillion's soul.
I'm coming. I still hear you.
Man, I'm pumped. My heart's going. That was a good fight. Okay. It's a really interesting, like, camera perspective, but that felt really good. I wonder if there's a block button. There's a dodge for sure. I don't know about blocking though. Alright, I'm gonna break down. I'm just gonna look at the controls. What do we get? There's a block button. Oh no. Okay. Oh, and you can. There's targeting as well and melee attacks. Yikes! All right. So there's a little more to combat than it first would seem. But I guess you don't need it. I just beat that. The focus to like as a stun or something though. I don't know about that. That was a good fight though. It gives me hope for the non-story side of the game. So the cool thing about that too is Valraven, obviously as the fight's going on, he's doing sort of supernatural things, like, you know, the dash attack, the like kind of teleporting, disappearing, whatever. But that's still all within the realm of possibility of that like enhanced reality I was talking about, where to her maybe it seems like that's what's happening, but in reality, you know, maybe there's just like some sort of hallucinatory vapors in the arena or something, right? To kind of enhance her own mental state of not well-being. It's still fairly well grounded, even the supernatural stuff. I guess that's what I'm really trying to say, is it feels as grounded as it could be. And that's really cool. Alright, so we have defeated the Raven. Now I guess we head back to the, I guess, hub area. Nice and sunny now. Look at those nice blue skies. Excellent.
When she was younger, she would lay in the grass and stare at the clouds. And there she saw them. Elusive. Shifting faces. After a while, she could see the face of everything. The trees. The mountains. Caves.
I'll say, were the bodies illusions? No, those are real. It's just a mountain of corpses.
I wonder, can you see the faces too? They're there. If you look for them.
Uh-oh.
Mother. Senua, you have the sight. Just like I do. Once you can see into the underworld and all the souls within it will see you. Don't be afraid when they speak to you. I will always be here to guide you.
Did you see her? That was her mother, Galina. She was a priestess, a healer. She taught Senua to see the weave that binds the world together. And it was beautiful. It was a time before the darkness. But when it did come, it first came for her mother. Senua still sees her face from time to time, hidden in the rock. Like she's still watching over her. She misses her so much.
The backtracking is kind of annoying. I can see why they keep it in, right? So they give you a chance to tell you more story. But I mean, I'm into the story, so it's okay. But why couldn't they just like play that story at the hub, right? Like do this walk all the way back. As far as I can tell, there's no sort of like inventory or power-ups or extra weapons to pick up or anything like that. I got that mirror, but it's just part of the game, so there's not really anything to do once you've passed through these areas.
Too slow.
I'll try some of these other controls now. Oh. Okay, it's like a
She's
time
ready.
stop thing.
You are a true warrior. Remember your training. Behind you! You won!
I see. Melee. Yeah. Kick.
She will die still.
Actually, gotta pay a little bit of attention against these guys. Damn, this is awesome.
End it now. This is nearly the end.
She needs to go back.
She can't.
It won't open. Why won't it open?
There's another challenge.
Okay.
Challenge
Damn, good.
accept.
That's some good variety in enemies now too. So the kick will break a block of a shield and a regular block, I guess. But a heavy strike would break the regular block as well. It didn't do it with the shield though, so there's a use for that. I used a block at the very end of combat there, but I didn't get a chance to try it in combat. I wonder if there's a counterattack mechanic, like if you pull off a good block. I love it when games do that. That will just make this even better. Man, I'm getting so hyped for this now. I was already into the story, but now the mechanics are kind of coming together. That whole focus time stop thing, useful for crowds. I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. Alright, I forget his name, but the next door is the God of Fire. I think we'll save that for the next session, though. This has been a good one. I'm going to end on a high note here. So, I'll be thinking about the story, see if there's any other insights I can come to before I play this again, and I'll share them at the start of the next one, and we'll go tackle the God of Fire. So, I hope it was entertaining. Once again, have a good evening.